Hi creative friends, this is Freya and thank you so much for being here. So today I'm going to try something out that is quite experimental and I don't even know what I'm going to label this video. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm working in this Madame Butterfly book, which is an absolutely deliciously gorgeous book. The pictures and images in here are stunning. Like, look at that. I mean, I can't even, like, words fail me. And then it's the Italian version, so all the print is written in Italian. And what I'm going to do today is I am going to take this image of mine, which I painted and put together in my cheap lined composition Kraft notebook. And what I'm going to do is I am going to cut out this image and then I am going to superimpose it onto this page and then use part of the page as her body. So I'm probably not explaining that very well, but I just want to reiterate that when I work in a book like this, meaning I am using the images on the page, or the text in this case, on the page, I'm incorporating that into my own work. When I'm working in a book like this, whether it's this particular book or the Painting the Feminine art journal by Connie Solera, whether it's in that book or the Van Gogh book that I worked on, what I'm doing is I am experimenting, I'm learning, and I'm not necessarily turning it into an art journal as I am using it as a tool for me to strengthen my own visual language and to just try out new things and not be restrained. Because when I tend to work in a book like this, I tend to be more daring. So I'm gonna explain what I mean by just doing it. And you know, the image that I have in my head is kind of half formed, so I'm learning as I go along as well. Now, I have worked on a few pages in this book, and if you can see here, I used this as one layout, and I did the same with this. So I'm using both the pages as like one image, but I don't think I'm going to do that in this case. I think I'm just going to use like one side of the page. I don't know if it's this side or that side. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just experimenting and I'm just going to see like, where does this, you know, go? Like, how is this going to transpire? So basically what I'm going to do is I am going to cut out the image, and whatever is left over, I am not going to throw it away. I am going to use it as collage, either for this, you know, spread or for another spread. Now, I don't know if I want her crown, but I'm gonna cut it out just in case I want it. And what I might do is separate the crown from her head. And like, this is so interesting to me. Like, I'm just curious. I'm not even like stressing about anything. I'm just like, oh, let me see how this is gonna go, type of thing. Okay, so now I've got some gorgeous pieces here. I'm just gonna lay off to the side. I might use them or I may not. Now, this image is completely mine. This image over here, it's 100% mine. Like, I made it from scratch because, you know, initially there was like, you know, just this lined notebook, and then I built up my layers like so. And, you know, this image is 100% mine. So I'm going to superimpose it on this page. Now, I don't know if I should cut, I think I'm going to cut the crown. Like, I'm going to just separate it from the head. And even if I use it, like, just say I use it, I might like kind of play around with it, like, you know, and put some space. Like, I'm just kind of, you know, being kind of silly with it. I don't know. I'm going to keep it off to the side there. So what I'm going to do is, like, let me see. I don't think it really matters, honestly, where I place it. But I have to say that just the fact that, you know, this is text, it's black and white, so it's very neutral, it's got interest in it just by virtue of it being writing, and it's in Italian, so for me, I love it. And me putting this figure over top of it just makes it that much more interesting. Like, I'm really loving this whole situation, and I didn't even do anything. So what I think I'm going to do is, I don't think I'm going to use the crown, because I want to put her like up there, so there's no place for the crown. And the reason why I want to put her up there is because I want to kind of like draw her, the rest of her body, like I want that situation. And I'm really loving it. Like, you guys, I didn't even do anything, and I'm honestly really loving it. Now, what I could do, I could use the back of it as well, because, I mean, I did build up on it, and, or I could use that, but I think I'm gonna, let me see here. So if I was going to make a sun, you know, I think I could, like, just kind of go like that. And I don't think I'm going to use scissors even. Like, I think I'm just going to kind of like go like that. Okay, well, I'm going to get scissors for the other part. I thought I wanted to keep those lines, but now I'm thinking, I don't know that that works. So, let's see. Ooh, I do like that. I like that. I like that a lot. And let me see here. Now, you can also do this with magazine images. The thing is, right now, I do not have a lot of magazines that I can, that I want to like cut up. Like, I do have magazines, but they are like my art magazines, or they're magazines that I really love that I'm not going to cut up. So I'm kind of facing a shortage of magazines I can cut up. But if you guys have like magazines that you can use for collage, you can absolutely do this as well. You can go to a thrift store and purchase a book like this, non-glossy, and, you know, with images that interest you, and then you can go through magazines and you can just cut up things and just make a spread. So I am really loving this situation, and I really didn't do anything, you guys. I really did not. And honestly, I think I'm just going to, well, I am going to stick it down. Like, I am going to get my Mod Podge and stick it down, but I'm going to leave the middle part. Like, I'm not going to put any paint on it. And I'm just going to kind of play with space, you know, in the sense that the dress, okay, the dress is going to be the exact same print as the background, so it's going to be a bit kind of like playing with space. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of like stick it like that. Now, unfortunately, I did get some of the Stabilo on the ink, but that's okay. It's just, you know, it's just the way it goes. And you can even use a glue stick, and honestly, I maybe I should have used a glue stick, but that's okay. So you guys, you can take magazine elements, like pictures that you like from a magazine, and you can combine it with your art. like with your own art. Like, you know, like just say if I did have a magazine, which I wish I did, that I could kind of cut up, I could maybe just say, for instance, if there was, say, maybe there was a photograph of a big rose, you know, I could cut that rose out and I could put it in her hair. Or maybe there was a bird, I could cut that out and put it on her shoulder, or, you know, on and on and on. So if you do have magazines, you can work with it and combine it with your art, or you can just use the magazine. And one of the reasons why, oh, I like that as well, actually. I don't know if that would go better. You know what, you guys? That might go better, actually. That's really strange. That was the backside of the piece, but, you know, that's one of the great things about, you know, when you strengthen your visual language and you make all your layers and your collage, etc., you're going to be, you know, using your own visual language. So everything is going to fit together like a puzzle because you're using your colors, your lines, your marks, etc. You know, honestly, I don't remember. Maybe it was part of the same side. I really don't remember. But regardless, we're going to leave it like that. So one of the great reasons to work like this with assemblage and collage is, first of all, you are going to strengthen your visual language. You absolutely are. The second thing is it's going to force you to think outside the box because, you know, you're working in a different way. So for instance, in this particular spread, I am using the text from the page as part of her dress, but it's also part of the background. So that means that I am playing with space because really, you know, this should read differently. It should be a different color or a different shade or a different something to differentiate it from the background, but it's not. So I am playing with space. Now, if I was just like painting and not using elements like this, I may not think to do that. But for some reason, because I'm working like this, I'm just, you know, like, oh, okay, let me just see what I can do. Let me see, you know, how I can kind of, you know, make something a little bit different. I just get more curious and playful rather than kind of like in a frame of expectations, I guess, because this whole thing is just about playing. And that's another reason to work in a book like this, where you're incorporating the images on the page into your own work. Because whenever I'm doing that, I tend to think more outside the box and I get like way more adventurous and playful. So I'm really loving this. And I'm going to leave the, I'm going to leave this part of the dress and I'm going to just leave the background. Like, I'm really just loving this spread. And all these other pieces here, I'm going to just put it in my collage stash and I can use it somewhere else. So anyways, you guys, this was just a quick, fun little video that I just kind of felt called to experiment with. And I hope that you give this a try. And if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.